Hey everybody, welcome back to Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com, and here on the YouTube channel. And this time out, we're going to take a look and listen to another piece of cool gear. This time out, we're going to take a listen to the Xpressor 500 by Elysia, which is a stereo 500 series compressor. A lot of you guys have asked me about Elysia in the past. I've never used any of their stuff before. But good news, I contacted Elysia and asked them for a demo unit and said, can you send me one on loan and I could do a video and check it out, because my followers have been asking, and they've been so kind to not only send me that, but they also sent me the 500 series character saturation module, which we're going to look at in another video coming up soon. So this video is sponsored in that they sent me the units for demo, but I don't get to keep them. I have to send them back. They're not staying here and they're not paying me for the video. And as always, you know, Uncle Dave is going to tell you the truth. I really haven't played with this compressor very long, so we're going to kind of do it together. We're going to listen to it on some drums, maybe some acoustic guitar, maybe some electric guitar, just to kind of check it out and see what it does. If you want to pick up this compressor, it will be in the description box below, and that is a Sweetwater affiliate link. Thank you so much. So before we get started, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also, by the time you're watching this, make sure you go check out the hybrid mixing courses. Link will be in the description box below. There are two of them now, hybrid mixing pop and hybrid mixing acoustic rock. Killer mixing courses. You get all the multi-track files. You mix the song along with me, whether you have hardware, whether you use everything in the box and you only use plugins. That course will teach you a ton about mixing, and it's a more intermediate and advanced level course. So go check those out. And I think that's it. Okay, so here we are. So somewhere on the screen, if you haven't seen it already, we have the Elysia Xpressor 500. So I got the manual out here. I want to tell you about the controls. There's a couple of unique control features on this compressor, which I think are kind of cool. And then we're going to start off listening to it on a drum bus. So we have our typical controls. If we walk through the controls and we go down the left side of the unit, we have a threshold, attack, release, and ratio. Usual suspects. If we go down the right side, we have our sidechain filter, which is kind of cool. We have a GLR control, which is a gain reduction limiter control, which I'll tell you what that does in a second. Then we have our makeup gain, and then we have a mix knob. And then in the center of the unit, we have a few different buttons that we can engage to change some of the tonal characteristics. But first, let me tell you about what the gain reduction limiter does. According to the manual, it restricts a control voltage. This innovative limiter is not placed in the audio path as usual, but in the control circuit of the compressor. And when you talk a little bit more about that, what it does, it says it's a specialty of the Xpressor 500, a gain reduction limiter for controlling voltage. The limiter is not placed in the audio path, as I just read. When it is activated, it limits the control voltage according to the setting of the gain reduction limit control. This means no matter how high the input level might be, the amount of gain reduction will never exceed the value that you set. So basically what it does is, if you're compressing, let's say 6 dB of compression, and you set the gain reduction limiter, even if you have extra loud parts in your audio, maybe things get overly dynamic, it's never gonna compress more than that 6 dB, depending on how much you set that gain reduction limiter. So it is kind of cool, kind of a cool little feature that we have there. Then we also have, let's see, down the center, we have what we call a auto attack, I think it's called, auto fast, which it's a little button in the center there where when you engage that, what that does, it's a semi-automation function for the attack time. So let's say you set your attack time to a slow attack for like drums, which is what we're gonna do. If you engage the auto fast, what that's gonna do is if, let's say, the snare gets a little extra loud, it's gonna go ahead, it's gonna shorten that attack time even more, and it's gonna help reduce those extra loud parts without changing the rest of the performance. Does that make any sense? So according to the manual, it's a function that shortens the attack time automatically upon loud signals. So it's like an additional or a secondary attack setting, which is kind of cool. Then we also have a log release, LOG release. This is kind of acts more like the over easy function on the DBX 160A. If you engage the log release, it's going to have a little bit more of a gentle curve to the compression, as opposed to not having it engaged, where it'll be a little bit more of a harder, more of a hard knee. So it's kind of like a soft knee, hard knee kind of a thing. It also has a warm mode, which changes some of the harmonics and it affects some of the transients. So it's kind of a little color switch. We'll demonstrate that as well. And then we have a bypass button. So we have our basic stereo compressor with a few extra goodies. What I have up here is a song that's not completely mixed yet. It's in the middle stages here. This song is by Brandon Van Allen. This is a song called If I Could Be Lucky Just Once. Again, check all his links in the description box below. He's got some great music and he's a great producer and does lots of coaching for song lessons and such. We're not going to hear the whole song here. Right now, we're just going to listen to the drums. So I got a drum bus here with a bunch of drums, got a kick snare, 3 toms, overheads rooms, and then a second pair of rooms, and a tambourine going to a drum bus. Basic EQ, no other compression. Let's go over to the Xpressor 500. Let's play this back a little bit and let's do a little bit of compression and I'll bypass it, take it in and out so you can hear what this compressor does. Here we go. Okay, so on a drum bus, it sounds pretty cool. So it doesn't have a ton of color to it. When I engage that warm button, you can hear we get a little bit more thickness on the bottom end and it kind of saturates a little bit more. That's kind of really cool. When you engage that attack fast button, that additional attack control, you can hear right away, and you can see it on the gain reduction meter, you get quite a bit more compression because even on a real slow attack or on the slowest attack for something like a drum bus, that it'll even shorten it even further. So it picks up every transient of the snare. So the way that attack button works, that what they call a auto fast, that you want to work in kind of concert with your attack time if you feel like you need to use it. Kind of cool, nice option. The log release is kind of that, like I said, it kind of acts like an over easy, a little bit softer compression when you disengage it to when you engage it. And it sounds pretty good. It doesn't have a ton of color to it, but it definitely brings out the pokiness of the snare. It elongates the kick quite a bit. I really do like it. I think it's a really cool compressor. Not a ton of color, but it just sounds really musical, which I really like. So that's kind of on the drum bus. So now give me a second, magic of TV. I'm gonna split away here for a second. I'm gonna patch it in to, let's say, I have a pair of acoustic guitars coming down to a bus. Let's hear it on some acoustic guitars and see what that sounds like. Be back in a second. Okay, we're back. So I got this patched into an acoustic guitar bus. We have an acoustic guitar left and right, kind of a strummed acoustic, and that's coming down to a bus here, and we got the Xpressor 500 patched into that. Also keep in mind, if you figure it out in the drum section, the very bottom button that says hit it, that is the bypass button. I thought that was kind of cool. I originally thought the hit it button was like a parallel compression kind of a setting, but it's not. It's just the bypass. So that little button on the bottom with the amber light, that's what's bypassing it, taking it in and out. So let's listen to this on some strummed acoustics, and let's see what this kind of sounds like. Here we go. Okay, so on acoustic guitar, what I'm hearing, I really like the warm circuit on the acoustic guitar. That really sounds beautiful. I like the way that sounds a lot. I also notice on the ratio too, once you poked it up a little bit above 3:1, it compresses. You get a lot of compression there. It gets a lot more sensitive. So I kind of dialed it back a little bit. Again, doing about 7 dB of compression or so. It sounds really good. When you engage that fast attack button, again, if any of those transients that might poke through, it just grabs it, and you can see it on the gain reduction meter how that kind of works. So I think it's a pretty versatile compressor. I mean, it sounds really good. Again, it's not overly colored. It's on an acoustic guitar like that. I think you'd want something a little bit more transparent. Even with the warm circuit, it sounds Just sounds a little bit more lush. Without the warm circuit, it sounds great as well. I think there's a lot of versatility there. So that's acoustic guitar. Let's do one more. Let's do the lead vocal. Even though it's not treated and we didn't really mix anything on it, let's just pop it on Brandon's lead vocal here and see what that kind of sounds like. So again, with the magic of TV, I'll get this thing patched in to his lead vocal here, and we'll take a quick listen. Be right back. Okay, we're back. So we got a lead vocal pulled up here. Again, there's just a little bit of a plate reverb on here, a little bit of tiny EQ. It's not fully mixed or anything like that. Again, this is Brandon Van Allen as part of the song If I Could Be Lucky Just Once. Again, check his links in the description box below. Brandon's a great artist, great producer, great songwriter, awesome. So anyway, we're gonna listen to this and give a quick listen. I'll do it in solo. We'll dial in the compressor. Then maybe I'll bring the acoustic guitar back here because he kind of plays along and sings the acoustic guitar solo in the first verse. So here we go. Let's go listen to the Xpressor 500 on a lead vocal.
I heard somebody once say they were a couple of cards short of a good hand. I heard somebody once say they were a couple of chords short of a great song. I heard somebody once say, I saw somebody once cry because they couldn't pick up all the pieces and move on. I saw somebody's dream die, and they couldn't wait for that shooting star to fall. That shooting star to fall. I'm wondering what it would be like. I'm wondering if I have my time. I'm wondering, and I'm wondering. I heard somebody once say they were a couple of cards short of a good hand. I heard somebody once say they were a couple of chords short of a great song. I heard somebody once say, I saw somebody once cry because they couldn't pick up all the pieces and move on. I saw somebody's dream die, and they couldn't wait for that shooting star to fall. That shooting star to fall. I'm wondering what it would be like. I'm wondering if I have my time. I'm wondering. I heard somebody once say they were a couple of cards short of a good hand. I heard somebody once say they were a couple of chords short of a great song. I heard somebody once say, I saw somebody once cry because they couldn't pick up all the pieces and move on. I saw somebody's dream die, and they couldn't wait for that shooting star to fall. That shooting star to fall. I'm wondering what it would be like. I'm wondering if I have my time. I'm wondering.
Okay, so on vocals, again, the warm circuit on that is really cool. I just love the way it kind of just rounds things out and gives it a little bit of more of this. I really like that a lot. Sounds really great. I mean, again, I noticed that even on the ratio setting, again, it's very, very sensitive, which is, not good or bad, it's just be aware of that. I love when he's holding out that last note and the compressor just grabs it and holds it. It doesn't sound like it's pumping and breathing. It just squeezes it really nice. Again, I think this is a kind of a, without the warm circuit, it's really kind of a transparent compressor, which is really great. It doesn't have a lot of vibe and color to it, but when you engage that warm circuit, it adds just the right amount of vibe and color, which is kind of cool. It's a cool stereo compressor. I mean, again, it's for, you know, I think they're running around $1,000 or so. So if you're looking for a really good quality stereo compressor in a 500 series that doesn't have a ton of color, but you can add a little color too. And then with some of the additional features of the auto fast attack and the gain reduction limiter, that additional feature, as well as the log release, which again is more that over easy kind of a setting. It's got enough versatility in it. You can use it on just about anything. And as you heard here, it sounds really good. Out of these three examples, I think I like the acoustic guitar the most, then the lead vocals, and then the drums. Although it sounded good on drums too. So anyway, that's a look at the Elysia Xpressor 500 stereo compressor. Thanks so much for joining me. Thank you to Elysia for sending it to me for demo. I'm going to be sad to see it go. It's a cool compressor. Maybe one day I'll pick one up from my collection. Who knows? Again, if you want to check it out, link will be in the description box to go out to Sweetwater and check it out. Let me know what you think of this compressor. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Leave comments below. And until the next video, I've been Dave with Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.